Alright, so I'm back with Kai's video. We're starting off this weird event right off the bat. So anyway, the Esoteric Order of Dagon. Modeled after the mystical society of the same name founded by Captain Obed Marsh of Providence's prophetic tome, Shadowed over Innsmouth, the Esoteric Order of Dagon seeks to better understand esoteric cosmos' principles through the lens of occult societies present in Lovecraft's works. While Providence has set the coming age in motion, he is not the be-all end-all of this world. By employing chaos magic to evoke the power of Lovecraft's creations, we can tap into the collective zeitgeist of war-torn New England to bring his imagined outer gods into this world. Knowingly or unknowing, the written works and political actions of Providence have already stoked the fears and anxieties of the people of New England. Wilhelm Reich, the group's enigmatic leader, believes this terror can be stilled into a powerful spiritual essence known as orgone energy, capable of reshaping reality. Where other magicians such as Aleister Crowley have routinely failed to bring about the age of Aquarius through the base sexual ritual, Reich believes that he can succeed by employing the terror invoked in Providence works to bring the collective societal thought form of Lovecraft's outer god into our reality. Only time will tell if Reich's Order of Dagon can succeed in their goal, or if they will prove to be just another doomsday cult. So I'm going to butcher this pronunciation at the bottom, but that was a quote from the book mentioned above, meaning, in his house at Relay, dead Cthulhu waits screaming, so it's probably something like Fengui Megalanoth Cthulhu Relay Waganagel Pathagan. Yeah, I probably butchered that, but then again, the way they describe it is probably not something people are meant to say, or something Cthulhu himself said, I think. I don't know, I haven't read the book. Anyway, that was the Esoteric Order of Dagon. The Secret War. The eldritch forces that Providence has fought to keep at bay have wormed themselves deeply into the foundation of her movement. The fanatic is a Delta Green that would purge all they perceive as unnatural with impunity. The misguided technocrats and Majestic 12 hope to control these forces in secret and to instate a new world order. The cultists in the Esoteric Order of Dagon would let these forces run roughshod over New England and use their occult studies to bring yet more horrors into our world. Providence, growing increasingly aloof and out of touch with the status of its own officials, has failed to notice this looming threat as large swaths of its government have sworn allegiance to one of the three factions battling for the soul of New England. Where each organization once worked behind the scenes to undermine the other, tensions have now broken out into open acts of violence against each other, with agents on all sides quietly targeting their rivals in attempts to purge them from various institutions across the country. Sooner or later, however, a clear victor will emerge as the true power behind Providence. So we can say Delta Green eradicates all threats, which would get an elite division of Marines, Airborne, and Mountaineers. Or if Majestic 12 maneuvers their way to the power, we get 200% research bonus for rocketry technology and jet technology. Or we say the Order of Dagon is victorious, we get 2 times 200% research bonus for nuclear technology. And I'm going to go with them just because I want to get nukes and actually use them, because I never got to use nukes yet. So we're going to say the Order of Dagon is victorious. I'm going with this national focus next, Into the Shadows. To better defend our place in the world, we must not only combat the darkness, but harness the shadows that strive from world to world to sow death and madness. For there are black zones of shadow close to our daily path, and now and then some evil soul breaks the passage through. When that happens, the man who knows must strike before reckoning the consequences. So our economy law changes to war economy, which gives us consumer good factories 20%, military to civilian factory conversion cost minus 20%, and civilian to military factory conversion cost minus 20%. Factory bonus to division limit plus 50%, division limit cap plus 200, and military factory construction speed plus 20%. Alright, so it's just boosting a lot of our military is what it seems like. So I took their capital, Sacramento, and I think they changed their capital to Seattle, but anyway, the fall of Sacramento. New Englander forces have been fighting long, difficult skirmishes with California conscripts across the Rockies. Today their efforts came to an end as they finally descended on the city of Sacramento after a large-scale assault across the American River, it being the capital of California and the seat of the California state capital. While not a strategically important city, it signifies a secure New Englander hold over the Rockies, as the entire Central Valley now opens up to New Englander soldiers. Many experts agree that the Pacific States of America would be wise to come to terms with New England. The California stronghold has fallen. So, they say it was difficult skirmishes and whatnot. It wasn't. I basically just walked into Sacramento. It was empty, really. But I think it's just because me and Canada had all their other forces held down in battle, so they couldn't get to Sacramento to defend it. Paranormal combat squads. As New England is further gripped by the paranormal enemy, more and more drastic measures must be taken to ensure the safety of her nation. One such action taken has been the creation of so-called paranormal combat squads by the brass of the Delta Green. These paranormal combat squads are large brigades of scientists and exorcists who are equipped in dealing with ghosts, poltergeists, and other spirits. These combat squads, nicknamed the Ghostbusters, can deal with wide-scale paranormal activity and deal with it quickly, while keeping the public calm and in blissful denial. So far they have not seen much action. However, the higher-ups of Delta Green hope to use them more often, as the explicit purpose of the organization is to fight the unknown supernatural forces plotting against us when there's something strange. Great, so we basically got the Ghostbusters in real life now. The Day of Drawn Daggers. For long, Lovecraft has had to share his power and be propped up by the most extreme Anglophiles in New England. However, the days where Lovecraft is a puppet of the elites is over. The Loyal Coalition, an organization that Lovecraft used to belong to, has wielded the majority of power in New England and have ruled alongside Lovecraft ever since the Providence Society took power. Like Lovecraft, their popularity came from the hatred of outsiders, mostly Irish Catholics, but instead of the Loyal Coalition being propped up by proud, pure wasps, they were propped up by the Astors and Vanderbilts. Elites that will stop at nothing for a quick buck, and that included stepping on this nation's loyal citizens. They fully expected that Lovecraft would never take action against them, that he would remain timid and stay in place. Did they know how he hated them? Maybe. But Lovecraft was of no concern to them. He would never challenge their power. That is what they thought. They thought wrong. Despite Lovecraft's agoraphobia, paranoia, and fear, being in practical charge of a large state has changed him. He was no puppet, and the time to finally get rid of the elites was there. The big businessmen who have ruined New England for so long would do so no longer. The purge began at 11, when loyal divisions of the Providence Guard fanned into the streets of Boston, dragging so-called enemies of purity from their homes and offices, and summoned to Delta Green black sites. There, anything awaits them, and none of it can possibly be good. I'm assuming that meant 11 a.m. because it's the day of Drawn Daggers, but anyway. Even though some tried to resist, Lovecraft's grip on the nation had become too strong. The populace, the military, and the bureaucracy were all loyal to him and him alone, something that the elites weren't counting on. By the end of the night, names were carefully crossed off lists as one by one. Lovecraft's enemies were killed, arrested, or somehow were condemned to fate even worse. Then, I think there's a little bit more at the bottom. Here we go. For Providence, for New England. So we lose 200 manpower, but we gain 100 political power, which I don't have much use for political power anymore, but anyway, I was right. That was kind of like the Night of the Long Nights, which happened in Nazi Germany to get rid of Hitler's, well, people that didn't agree with Hitler. We're getting close to the end of the focus tree. White Anglo-Saxon Protestant supremacy. The Anglo-Saxons are the true heirs to our nation. They must be put at New England's forefront. This will hopefully ensure that only pure Anglos can take hold over New England, and that Irishmen and other impure races cannot gain power within New England. We are pure. We are whole. We are the members of the greatest race ever seen. No Mongols can compare to what we have done. Where was it? No Mongols can compare to what we have done. We have built New England to be a pure, Teutonic, and Aryan state. Gains national spirit wasp supremacy, which grants monthly population minus 19%, recruitable population minus 30%, and division recovery rate plus 19%, and our division attack also goes up by 19%. So yeah, as I said before, this path's not a good one morally. It's just interesting, kinda. The States of America has capitulated and they gave us access to 50% of their stockpiled equipment. So we got like 8.1 thousand rifles, so 8,100, 291 whatever those are tanks, and 2,700 other stuff that we can just pass so I can take all states or whatever. We finally got this event to pop up on time for once. Pacific States of America has capitulated. The American government has gone into exile and their main forces have capitulated to New England, who is now in control of their home area. Although the struggles between New England and the Pacific States of America are over, New England is still at all-out war, and the fighting continues elsewhere. Yeah, I guess I still am at war, though there are wars I can't really do anything without a navy. Anyway, uncertain times. So this isn't a big change or anything important to point out, but they changed H.P. Lovecraft's portrait from the old one to this, and I don't know, this one looks a little bit cooler, I suppose. America is reunited. At long last, America has been reunited. We stretch once again from sea to shining sea. The traitors to the country have been destroyed, and the stars and stripes now fly proudly from coast to coast, knowing that liberty is secured for all. At long last, the England will become known as the Sovereign Order of America. Also, in the meantime, I'm trying to declare war on or justify a war goal on Alaska so I can declare war on them. Then after that, it'll be Hawaii. The end of the Second American Civil War. The dust has finally settled, and it seems the only faction left standing in this civil war is New England. We will need to take up the flag of America and rebuild what is left. May the likes of MacArthur, Long, Haywood, and all the rest rot in hell for the chaos they ravaged upon America's legacy of freedom. It's finally over. Oh, also, our name changed to Southern Order of America, as you can see, and our flag changed to a pretty cool looking one, in my opinion. We can also go for some decisions of rebuilding America. With the Civil War now at an end, we must heal the scars that have come from it. So we can rebuild the South Atlantic states, which looks like the stuff the United States owned, and the what was it called? The Constitutional American Republic. So let's go with that one. Can we do the Pacific Coast at the same time? No, we can't. So I'm going with this national focus next. Purge the Empire. There's a shadow over New England, spreading from the most decrepit corners of our cities. There, in the lower neighborhoods, you will find a miscreated people, monstrous and nebulous adumbrations of the pithecanthropoids, and vaguely molded from some stinking viscous slime of Earth's corruption, and slithering and oozing in and on the filthy streets or in and out of windows and doorways in a fashion suggestive of nothing but infesting worms or deep-sea unabilities. I don't know what that means. We must purge them from our cities, lest they fall to decay and corruption. So we'll lose 2,000 manpower, but we'll get 10% national populism, so stronger, and 120 political power, even though I still don't really have a use for political power. Alright, so I'm going down this focus left, and after this one we only have 3 more. New English Heritage. The true meaning of New English Heritage is not the misguided experiment of its revolutionary sentiment. Rather, it is the spirit of a nation with the fire of the Elizabethans, the correct taste of the Georgians, and the refinement and pure ideals of the Victorians. We are not simply a New England, but a more perfect England. So again, in national spirit, New England nationalism, which grants stability plus 10% and war support plus 10%. So basically, they're talking about the first Queen Elizabeth, I'd assume, King George and Queen Victoria, is my guess there. Anyway, let's go with this one. Spartan nation. No death, no doom, no anguish can arouse the surpassing despair which flows from a loss of identity. Merging with nothingness is peaceful oblivion, but to be aware of existence and yet to know that one is no longer a definite being distinguished from other beings, that one no longer has a self, that is the nameless summit of agony and dread. We have fought a long, bloody trial to bring about our national rebirth, and we must be willing to pay any price or face any death to defend our newfound identity. So we gain the national spirit of Spartan society, which grants us division organization plus 5%, recruitable population 30%, war support plus 20%, division attack plus 20%, division defense plus 20%, but factory output minus 10%, and doctorate output minus 15%. Which, I mean, I guess that kind of balances out. So we're going for rebuild the Pacific Coast next, which will give us 3% war support and 3% stability. Even though I think we're already 100% at both, but either way, it's got to be done. So this is the second focus that's in Lovecraft's tree. I mean, the second to last focus. Anyway, the King in Yellow. Democracy is in all ways a decadent failure. Their corrupted system of republicanism drove New England into the ground and kept our people from achieving true greatness. Thus, we must do away with this corrupted republic, and instead turn to Lovecraft's own works for guidance. Lovecraft is King of New England in all but name, and with the desperate state of our nation, it is high time for the citizens of New England to look to Lovecraft's own mythos for guidance. Recent discoveries in Egypt and the increasingly brazen rituals of New England's esoteric fraternities have emboldened Lovecraft. It is time we shook off these shackles of failed republicanism. Long live Providence. Long live the King in Yellow. So H.P. Lovecraft gains the King in Yellow. Daily political power gain plus 0.25, war support plus 25%. War goal justification complete. Justification of conquering Alaska for the Sovereign Order of America is finished. So basically we can finally declare war on them. I'd also feared to point out their leaders, Ernest Gruning, or I think that's how you pronounce his last name, but anyway, I'm gonna declare war here. Okay, conquer, call allies, because I don't want to do that alone. Then there we go. And that should start the war. But that's also about all the time we have for this part, so goodbye for now.